Good to know.
All right.
Robin, have at it.
Sure. Let me not be one to tell you what your choices are, Your Honor. Leave that to Mr. Masters, apparently. So he's criticizing a defense strategy, and he says that we've made no defense. Well, we have, and we shall, and partly the reason is because, well, the PD has done it for us. Let's start with the warrant. First off, no night search was requested, but one was done anyway. Mr. K testified to Mr. Snow not being there. This is inherently illegal. If you wish to search without the property owner there, you ask for it. You don't just do it. Furthermore, we have the edit history of the warrant. This warrant was started at 6:20 p.m. Officer Shiesty, who is the one who signed the warrant as the one writing it, did not put his statement into the warrant until 8:31 p.m. The man took 2 hours to put his statement in, and only 9 minutes later does he mention seeing someone rob someone. But since Shiesty is not here and what we have was Cade says he mentioned individuals robbing someone. But when asked if Mr. Carl, the one who was pursued from the scene, was one of those people, he said no. So where's the probable cause? Because I'm not an officer, but probable cause usually requires facts and evidence. I'm struggling to find it. Nothing names anyone specifically. And let's go to Mr. Master's point of, if it's signed, it's lawful. Well, the person who signed this was Justice Hallow.
I need a minute, okay? I'm not going to be...
However, Justice Hallow, in the People versus Marco Frey, deemed a warrant unlawful. And in the People versus Kyle Pred, also deemed a warrant unlawful. So I see no reason why what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. So should you find there to be a lack of probable cause, Your Honor, I believe you would be well within your rights to overturn it. I mean, your colleague has done just as much twice in the past. Why not make it 3?
Damn.
I fucking love Robin.
Let me get some exact quotes of this warrant. Shiesty was watching an individual with red hair and a flag on his face and a woman robbing individuals. Shiesty witnessed a suspect repairing his vehicle, and it then became that Shiesty pursued that vehicle. So was the person with the flag, the red hair, and the woman, were they the ones robbing, but also the ones repairing their car? I mean, it'd be quite impressive if they were doing both at the same time, which would be indicated by Shiesty's statement. Let's also look at the statement of probable cause above Shiesty's statement. It mentions Nicola Ave too, but the place they wanted to search was Nicola Place. The police didn't even know where they wanted to search, seemingly. Now let's talk about the breach of the house. Absent probable cause with exigency. Okay, where's the probable cause? Probable cause of which crime? He was supposedly armed, but nothing stated in the warrant said so. Nowhere is the probable cause articulated of why this house was breached. So, again, probable cause of what? Evading? Is evading enough to forfeit the rights of people to be secure in their property? I would think not. Then we've heard testimony that the person ran in and then they ran out. So if the person ran out, Why were police still in there? They had no reason to be in there anymore. But apparently, police were shot in there. But I guarantee you'll find no evidence of it. No projectiles, no casings, no blood. No, but we couldn't have collected evidence. We had to go to another shooting. But when brought up how they could have collected it afterwards, apparently it could have been contaminated, but wouldn't you have locked down the house if the warrant was being written? What was being contaminated at that point? All we have in this warrant is two people's statement that frankly should have just been in a police report that doesn't substantiate probable cause at all. We have someone who came here who couldn't even remember where to go on Monday and said on the stand, oh, I don't do warrants and shit. But again, let's now turn to the kidnapping, supposedly. We've heard testimony from Mr. Snow himself that him and Maxwell and him and Mr. Clare aren't familiar at all. Yet they somehow positively identified the man. But again, we wonder how. Spent no more than a few hours with the man, but apparently they can positively identify them apparently after being shot. It's quite baffling. So to sum up this whole mess, the warrant and the search was unlawful. There was no probable cause in that warrant, and it was done illegally with no night search being requested. They're trying to charge Mr. Snow as a primary of kidnapping. No articulation as to how. The defense would ask that should you deem the warrant unlawful, that all evidence found as a result of it be deemed fruit of the poisonous tree and thrown out, and all charges related to it be dismissed. And should you find there to be reasonable doubt as to the kidnappings and attempted murders from the separate incident, you find Mr. Snow not guilty as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
I was fired.
Thank you, Robin. All right. Considering the time, my verdict will be coming after the weather passes. I have a mountain of evidence that I have to go through, and obviously the testimonies that we heard here today. I will
Your
be
Honor,
coming out.
sorry to interrupt. Could I have a chance to point out evidence to you?
You had your.
That's what your
opportunity.
closing was for, Jesus Christ.
Robin,
No, but
I can do my job. Thank you. He's
He
not
can't.
wrong though. You had you had your opportunity in your closing. Why did you not take advantage of that at the time?
well, because in general you find most
Hell
of the
yeah.
judges all separate the closing from the pointing out of evidence, in my experience.
Danielson, Grayson, Oxlong, do we separate evidence in our closings?
You want an answer?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, foundationally, generally before closing, people an opportunity to offer evidence. 9 times out of 10, people will waive that right and then provide evidence during closings.
That's
For
right.
expediency sake.
No, he took
I'd
the
say
words right out of
99
my
times out of
mouth.
100.
Arcadia.
Yeah, I'm sure he
I
did,
was about to
Oxlong.
say it.
I have
Yeah,
never
yeah,
had
my
anybody
good
part of the
Oxlong.
judiciary take evidence.
Has Oxon even done a case?
He took
Yes,
the words
he
right out
has.
of my
That's
mouth.
not the
I was about
point.
to say it. He and I have
That
beef
guy's not
now
even wearing
because I was
pants.
about to say all that shit.
Unfortunately, Masters, I'm going to deny that request.
My God,
I
That's
will
fine.
going-
All the evidence is there anyway.
Yeah, I
It would
appreciate
just help
that.
save you some time.
Thank you. Yeah, my verdict's gonna come after the change of weather. Please just bear with me. I'll put out a state announcement 15 minutes
Oh, hell no.
before to come back to the courtroom for that verdict to be heard. Is that everything? All right. Stay tuned. We're in recess.
Your Honor,
No.
Your Honor, quick
Oh.
matter, quick matter,
No.
Your Honor.
No.
Are we doing this again? Are we doing this again in front of everyone?
Yes, we are. What do you want, Wade?
Oh, it's very important. It's actually a matter of the courts.
That's back-to-back cases where the cops want to talk after the closing.
Who's
Not my name.
Justice Longwood?
Not my name.
That's,
Insane. What the fuck?
that's comedy.